Hello there, this is LEGO Dynasty, and today I'm bringing my review of the LEGO Star Wars UCS Jango Fett Starship. It is set number 75409, comes with 2,970 pieces, is rated ages 18 and up. And this set retails in the United States for $299.99 and in Canada for $379.99. Now without further ado, let's kick off this review, starting with the box. Now taking a look at the box, as you can see, looks absolutely incredible on that 18 plus style box art. Not as good as the previous Boba Fett Slave 1 UCS set that had the Bespin background on its box art, but it still looks pretty incredible. You have the blue light emanating in the background, kind of symbolizing both Camino and Jango's blue armor. You can see my box does have a little bit of damage. I ended up getting it on discount on release day from the LEGO store. You can see nice side box art there. Just looks absolutely incredible there. You can see Jango and Boba inside the cockpit looking incredible. Flipping the set around, you can see some more nice detail of the ship, both from the actual Attack of the Clones film and scenes that they're recreating, as well as you can also see the dimensions, which is 39 centimeters or 15.5 inches across, wing to wing, and then 44 centimeters or 17.5 inches tall, which just looks absolutely incredible. As you can see, really nice box art overall. Now you are given two manuals here, as you can see, looking absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, these aren't as good as previous manuals that we got back in the day. That was the box art reprinted on, but it still looks pretty nice. And generally, UCS sets get a little bit higher quality manuals than regular play sets and even other 18 plus style sets. You do have a whole write-up on it, including a nice shot of the Slave 1 blasting against Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter, which looks absolutely fantastic. You have some more shots, including some really cool concept art, which just looks absolutely incredible here, and some more detail, including info on the seismic charge, and quite a bit of information, I have to say, including all the different sections you can see inside, which is just awesome to see. Now here we have the extra pieces I was left with following the build. As you can see, quite a few, which does make sense for a set of this size to have quite a few extra pieces. All that you can add to your collection for free, whether it's Technic, even a couple extra of these antenna pieces, which is awesome. So you can add these to your Captain Rex and other clone troopers, as these are obviously vastly improved and probably what we will be getting going forward, rather than the ones we've been getting since 2008, which is definitely nice to see an improvement there. Now taking a look at our first minifigure, we have Jango Fett in his updated armor sequence here. Like, by update I mean this is definitely a massive improvement on what we got previously. He is absolutely incredible, from the torso to the belt to the leg printing, even some boot printing there. No side leg printing, but definitely side arm printing, which is awesome to see. You have the gunmetal gray jetpack, which is accurate because he does lose one of his jetpacks fighting against Obi-Wan on Camino. So this is one he does sort of have on Geonosis, which they have shots from the fight over Geonosis, so it definitely is accurate. You have the updated headpiece, which matches the clones' skin tones and does look similar to the clone faces, which is awesome to see that detail, but he does obviously have some stubble. He does have a double-sided face print. The only thing that would have been nice is if one of them had his sort of headpiece or earpiece printed on, which they used to have on previous versions, including the 2002 Slave 1 had that feature, or like face print of him not having his helmet on, but having the, headpiece, because there's definitely shots where you should have a headpiece on that you can't recreate because it's not printed on. He's using these, parts here to represent his blasters, which they've done for years now, and it works quite well. Taking off his headpiece just to show off the back printing, pretty standard, but still looks pretty nice there. And that is Jango Fett. Next up, we have Boba Fett, and overall, like, a lot has been said about him. Obviously, them changing the hairpiece, it doesn't work. The previous one they had, including the one most recently from, I believe, 2015, worked fine. Like, it was perfectly fine. it feels like a change for the sake of change, and it doesn't work at all as a hairpiece. The skin tone all looks fine. The arms, which there was some concern, works. It's definitely dark, not as dark as it should be, but it definitely wasn't supposed to be as dark blue as the previous ones were, so it works okay. They're trying to match how his arms are to Jango, because Jango's actually supposed to be in sort of a purple jumpsuit with the blue helmet and some blue markings. It's not supposed to be this light bluish color, well, darker light blue for lack of a better term, but they wanted him to match that, so you get that. But what can't be forgiven is this brown belt that they added. Completely inaccurate. Like it could have been the exact same printed torso, just, you know, with the updated skin tone that we got in 2015, and it would have been fine. So even and with the updated arms, like that would have been fine. I don't know why they did this. Not accurate whatsoever, like at all, not even close. They had it right before, not sure why they changed it. Now let's take a look at this Jango Fett Starship in its absolute glory. Just absolutely incredible, I have to say. Looks amazing. You can see just chef's kiss. This is incredible. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the previous Boba Fett's Slave 1 UCS set to compare to, but seeing reviews and other comparisons, I can tell you this one is just perfect, and honestly makes me hope we do get a Boba Fett Starship at some point in the future, or Boba Fett Starship, Boba Fett Slave 1. Like it should just be called the Slave 1. That's not Lego's decision, that's from Disney. It's dumb. Slave is not the worst thing that's happened in Star Wars, especially recently with their current show Andor, but honestly Disney just wants an image to uphold, even though, you know, Anakin Skywalker was a slave in a movie, and there's been slaves and sex slaves in Return of the Jedi and all of that stuff, like, but you can't call a ship the Slave 1 anymore. Like, definitely really stupid, and you can't fault Lego, unfortunately. Like, you really can't. You can fault them for one thing, though, and that's on this display stand. You can see it says Jango Fett Starship. I don't know why they didn't call it Jango Fett's Fire Spray Starship instead, because then I think I'm less upset. And I know that sounds, you know, kind of annoying, but if it was, or Jango Fett's Fire Spray, because the actual ship is called a Fire Spray, and his designation of it is Slave 1. So if they said Jango Fett's Fire Spray, not even Starship, just Fire Spray, I think it would have looked a lot better. I expect people are going to print their own and sell it online, and as update kits. Personally, I haven't bought any of those, but if you end up wanting to do that, I do not blame you, because one, you're probably going to avoid the dimple piece, and it's just going to look a lot better than Jango Fett Starship, because at the end of the day, it's not Jango Fett Starship, it's the Slave 1, or at the very least, Jango Fett's Fire Spray. But you can see some other nice detail on the plaque there. So, quad drive yards, Fire Spray, like I said, 31 class patrol and attack craft, 21.5 meters, F-31 drive engines, and then a bunch of other information that you can read there if you so desire. Now, taking the Slave 1 off of the stand is quite easy. You literally just pull it off, and I'm not too worried about grabbing it. Like, it comes off perfectly fine. We'll get another nice look at the stand itself here with the plaque. As you can see the design they went with. It's definitely updated compared to the previous Boba Fett Slave 1 UCS set, so you can't put them on the same place, or on the same stand, I should say, even though this one is definitely an improvement on that previous version, but it still is very nice and works quite well, obviously, for Jango's version. Now, the amount of detail on Jango Fett's Slave 1 is just absolutely incredible, including just the curvature that they managed to capture here. Some of the part usage, just absolutely incredible, I have to say. Now, there is use of some stickers, unfortunately, including on the cockpit piece, which we will get to in a moment, which just doesn't work that well because the color scheme just doesn't match, unfortunately, specifically right there. You can see this white is supposed to match this white here, and they were able to match it on the previous Boba Fett Slave 1, but they weren't able to match it on here at all. They've just had a lot of trouble with whites printing, especially for stickers. not even sure if they can print it. Like they realistically should be able to, but I don't know if they would do a printing on this. I almost would have preferred them just leaving it blank. Yeah, it's a nice detail, but when it's completely off color-wise, I'm almost at the point where it's like, why bother? You have some more sticker detail up top here, and you have what is supposed to represent some weapon systems here. You can't, on the previous UCS Slave 1, you were able to pull out weapon systems for Boba, including missile launchers. Here you don't have that. That is all lost. But you do have these, what are supposed to be extra guns that you can use, or missile launchers, whatever you want to call them as. Now, the bottom here has some of the fun play functionalities, including the fact that you can actually, lower the cargo hold and, and let, your characters walk up. It's not perfect. It fits best with Boba, but you can reenact that shot of him waiting for his father as his father fights Obi-Wan, and he's told to, go start the ship. So that's nice. And it should be noted, you don't have to move him. If he's in that studded position, he is fine there. So that's definitely nice. You can play around with that quite seamlessly. It looks really awesome and is very smoothly done there. Now you do obviously have the ability to move the guns at the same angle because they're both connected with the same Technic rod, as you can see, so they'll move at the same position, which is definitely accurate as we see during the battle sequence. So that's definitely nice there. And next up, we move on to the cockpit area, where again, you can easily pop off this section here, just like so, and you can see inside. What's nice is, yes, you have these two chairs here, but you also have this section here, which has 3 more spots. You obviously only need 2, but you can place Boba inside, as well as Jango, of course. Just like so, and have him control. And this is what I mean by him not having his, headgear printed on, because this is where you would see him with his headgear communicating with Boba, or, controlling the ship, etc. So that's nice as well. Now you do have a hidden compartment where you can actually place Jango's jetpack along with his weapons. Now you can't place his guns, or not his guns, but his helmet anywhere. You just have to leave outside the ship or place it in there and try not to lose it when you're moving the set. So that's the only thing that kind of sucks, that they weren't able to incorporate, but it is still nice that you can incorporate this into the set just like that. As you can see, it's right in there, and then you would just add Jango and Boba's pod right there, and he is locked in place. I'll just move my camera so you can get a nice look here, just like so. Looks absolutely fantastic, and just add in the little windshield piece so you can see. Looks fantastic there. And like I said, you do have the extra compartments for other characters to sit if you would like them to do that. Now, just like the UCS Boba Slave 1, the wings do move and reposition themselves with gravity. So as you can see, they will move into landed position. You don't have to move them on your own. Overall, that's definitely not quite safe holding this set. I'm not worried about it breaking on me. Still, like, it is such a large set. You do want to be careful, obviously, but it still works quite well. And it just looks so incredible on display. Like, you're gonna love it on display, I have to say. Now let's take a look at the back, including the seismic charge, which obviously cannot be, like manually released or anything like that, or bombed essentially. It is just locked in place, and you just have to grab it out in order to access it. It has some very nice sticker detail. Would have been nice if it was printed, especially some of these parts. Like, I don't think they could have printed here, though. And actually, no, they could have, because they use that part for chopper sets. So realistically, all of that should have been printed, but instead it's stickers, unfortunately. And it just locks right in place quite seamlessly, I have to say, and looks awesome inside there, as you can see. Now, you don't have any, like, sliding doors. You have to just move it manually, just like that. And then you can honestly open it up to reveal the seismic charge on the inside as you see fit. You can see the engine detail and some of the other detail on the back. Just absolutely incredible. And just showing the Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter in scale next to the Jango Fett's UCS Slave 1. And as you can see, they are pretty much perfectly in scale of one another. That's probably the main reason why they extended the lifespan of Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter so much. Makes a lot of sense when you look at them next to each other. It fits perfectly based on how we see them battle during the scene from Attack of the Clones, fighting above Geonosis. So that's definitely pretty nice. They could always remake the Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter as a UCS set, which they released, but I mean, I think that at the time that was one of the least selling UCS sets ever, and they didn't even have a minifigure, so makes kind of sense there. I mean, in retirement, it's actually become quite a popular UCS set, but I'd be surprised if they ever remade it as a UCS set to go alongside this one. Plus, like, at its scale, this set is much more in scale at this size than making a larger UCS Jedi Starfighter there. Still looks very great, and I will probably try and display it next to each other on display because it just looks awesome for sure. I would have never thought we would have ever gotten a Jango Fett Slave 1 again, let alone a UCS version. And we're also going to get a playscale one, presumably at the same scale as that previous Boba Fett Starship. That had, Mando and Boba Fett from Book of Boba Fett in the summer. I believe it comes out in August. So that's going to be awesome to see as well, because I think both are needed, and Jango Fett Slave 1 has been one of the most requested set by fans for years now, and to get both of those in the same year is just incredible. I think this is one of the best LEGO UCS sets we've gotten in the last few years. Way more exciting to me than the X-Wing and TIE Interceptor, which were great sets, but I just think this one is just awesome, and the detail, now I want them to redo Boba Fett's. One, I don't have it, and I don't really want to spend 800 Canadian dollars to get it, because that's what it roughly goes for here in Canada. Maybe some 700s, but generally around $800 for a brand new Boba Fett's UCS Slave 1, and I want to see a new one at this updated scale, just like how we've gotten now 3 UCS X-Wings and 2 TIE Interceptors. It feels like Boba Fett's due for one, maybe for the 50th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back, because that would make a lot of sense. And that would be 2030, which, again, would also be the 25 years of LEGO Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. So I guess we'll see what UCS set we get that year. But I would really love to see an updated Boba Fett Slave 1. This set, to me, is a must-have if you're a fan of the prequels. Even if you're not the big fan of Attack of the Clones, I think this set is just incredible looking and so unique, so awesome, and I'm so happy they made it. With that being said, that's all my opinion. Let me know your thoughts on the LEGO Star Wars Jango Fett Starship in the comments down below. Are you guys a fan of this set? Are you going to pick it up, or have you already? Please let me know. Please leave a like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and have a great day, everyone.